Okay, so welcome back. So in our previous session, we have seen what is BDD, and also we have seen what is exactly Cucumber is an introduction, and few details about the Gherkin syntaxes. Okay, like the given, when, then, and with scenario and scenario outline. So this is mostly we went through the theoretical part of the Gherkin syntaxes and the feature file, and I have shown one sample feature file as well. So this sample.feature file is giving an idea of how exactly the feature file should look like. Okay, so now at this moment we will kind of move into the technical aspect of that. So we will implement a protractor with TypeScript and Cucumber integration. So let's get started. Okay, so as you would have seen in our previous sessions, we have seen how to handle the protractor with TypeScript and async methods, how to use the async, and also we have seen kind of a page object model with a specific framework. Okay, so today on top of this framework, we'll try to implement the Cucumber on top of this. Okay, so for that, what I will do, let me create a new branch, Cucumber. Okay, so now here what I will do, so now the basics things we need. Okay, so at this moment we will see how we can set up the Cucumber with Gherkin syntax on the Visual Studio Code. Okay, so for that, first thing I'll move to the extensions, and here I will install an extension that is Cucumber. If you search, keep note of this, from Alexander, so the creator of this particular extension. So do install that. It's very basic because I have installed it is showing uninstall. For you, for the first time it will show it as install, and you can just go and install as usual extensions. Okay, so that's the first step, you need to do that. Okay, so now as I was telling in our previous session that we need to create a feature file, right? So for that, what I will do, I'll create a new folder and I will give it as features, and under this I will create a sample feature, right? Okay, so let me create a new file. Let's say sample dot feature. Okay, so here what I will do, the feature file which we have seen, I'll just copy paste the one which we have discussed. So let me copy it. Okay, now so here it's a basic profile entry screen, and then so if you see here, it's a scenario outline with examples. It means that whatever the given, when, then is there, that will repeat with as many as rows from the examples. Okay, but for this, as I was telling, to technically execute this we need a step definition file. So for that, what I will do, I'll create a new folder. Let's say step dev. Okay, and under this I'll create a step definition file which will be a regular ts file because we are implementing TypeScript. So I will say sample.ts. Okay, so like this. Now here what I will do, we will write the specific what you call related to this. I will try to implement this particular given, then, and conditions into a step definition so that I can execute the code. Okay, so if you see, if I am going to this, it's nowhere going it. Okay, so for you, for the first time, if you are using it, it kind of say that this particular given, when, then is not yet implemented. Okay, so for that we will be implementing here. So for that, for quick access, I will try to copy paste that particular code. So for now, let's go to this, and this is my given. Okay, now here it is, obviously it will be throwing me error. So for that, what I will do, I will do an import. It will give me an error because I have not installed the Cucumber. So for this we need some library. See, this extension is for Gherkin syntaxes, right? The extension which we just installed so that my feature file can be recognized. Like if you see this one, this is not like a text file, right? It is like a feature. So to distinguish that, we are using this Gherkin what do you call extension, but we need to install few of the libraries. So for that, I will go to the package.json, and here what I will do, I'll put a comma and I will install the So I'm copy pasting all of this. Okay. So now what I will do, I'll go to this and I will say npm install. So all of my libraries will be installed. So as you can see now, it's not throwing any of the error here. So import given from Cucumber, because only one given statement we have implemented, right? So now if I go here and click on this, it's still not going. The reason being is that we have not linked this dot feature file into the step definition file. So how does the Cucumber will come to know where is the feature file and where is the what you call step definition file? So for that, what we need to do, we need to go inside the .vscode, and on the under this I will create a settings.json file. Okay, so settings.json. Now if you see here, this particular extension, it clearly mentions that we need to give this particular. So if you see here, this is what we need to copy paste here. But oops, it didn't copy. So let me copy it from my notepad so that it will be easy for me. Okay, so here if you see Cucumber autocomplete steps, so that is nothing but under my step dev. So if you see, my step dev file is here under that start.ts. So whatever the .ts files I will be mentioned, that will be considered here. And then there is a sync features. So if you see, that is under my features start.feature, so that is there. Now if I go to this, and then if I right click on this, and if I go, you can see it is implemented, right? Okay, so that's that much of easy. So first thing is that you need to install the extension, and after that you need to install all the libraries like types cucumber, protractor cucumber framework, cucumber html reporter is for your reporting, so that you don't need an extra reporting also. And chai is kind of an expect, so kind of if you do any kind of verifications assertions, that is required. Okay, so that's all about the libraries and the extensions. Okay, so now let's try to implement one by one. Now here you can see it's giving me error, all these things. It means that it is telling that unable to find this step. It means that these steps were not yet implemented. So that is what I was talking in our theoretical session, where for what is the reason and why are we using this BDD. This is the benefit of that. So if you're a business analyst or the product owner given a set of feature file with the steps, and the QA automation folks, if they forgot to implement that, then it will throw them an error, so that the test coverage can be proper. Okay, so now without wasting time, let's go and implement all other things. Okay, so here given comma when and then. So as I was telling, we don't need to have the and here. Like if you see this feature file, we have this and, right? So for this we can use anything else. So if you see, I am using then, okay, instead of that. And for your scenarios, you can use whatever it is there. Okay, whatever, like you can use when, you can use then keyword replacing the and. Okay, so now let's come to the technical part. If you see here, the names are not same. Here, if you see profile entry screen and my feature file, this description is telling profile entry screen. Now, how exactly the feature files are running? Now, whenever you run this particular feature file, the Cucumber basically will see the descriptions, the method descriptions, means the step definition methods with the description. If it is matching, then it will execute that particular code, whatever it is written inside that. So if you see profile entry screen, and if you go here profile entry screen under the given statement, now whatever I have written here, that will be executed. Okay, now if you see here, I'm not using any describe or it block, because like how the Jasmine framework is there, the same way Cucumber framework is there. So it's kind of a replacement of the describe and it blocks. Okay, so if you see here, here one thing to note, enter name and name. Okay, so now if you see, this name is nothing but a variable, right? So it is a dynamic variable. So based on your examples, whatever the name is, like for the first run it will pick up as pqr, on the next run it will pick up as ghi, right? So that is why we are giving a regular expression. So if you see, this is a regular expression. Okay, and you can just copy paste whatever it is that, because this regular expression is common. Okay, now enter name, and whatever inside is there, right, this regular expression, that will go as a name variable, and this goes as a parameter. Now inside this code block you can use that name. I mean, whatever you want, like you, if you want to enter something into the application, or else you want to fetch something from the application and then compare, you can use that with your need. Okay, at this moment I'm just displaying those parameters. Okay, and what else? I think, yeah, pretty much everything else is same. If you see the then statement, validate profiles, save without error, that is nothing but my last statement, and I need not to do anything specific with the examples, because based on this feature file, the scenario outline will execute that many times, except this first row. Okay, because that's mostly the header part. Okay, so now that's how the feature file and the step definition is linked to each other. Okay, now the question comes, how do we execute these feature files? So if you remember, in our basic protractor typescript we are running the spec files, right? The same way, these feature files are nothing but the spec files for us. Okay, and if you see, one more thing, this anything that I'm writing here, I can repeat that as many as times, because see, there are scenarios where I will say log into the application, and that is common across your different tests, right? So what I can do, I can write a given statement here, log into the application, and as many as times I will call this feature file. I mean, in the feature file, if I write like a given login, let's say that I have 10 scenarios where first step is given login to the application, then in the feature file definitely I need to repeat that many times, right? Because my steps are like that. But one good thing is that in this sample, in this step definition, you need not to what do you call, implement that many times, because what will happen, so anything it is matching, like let's say you have two scenarios here, and it says that given profile entry screen. So here I need not to write two times given profile entry screen two times, because it will search anything that the steps, it will search across the step definition file. Okay, so if it is matching, then it will run that. So for an instance, let's say if I have two scenarios where the given profile entry screen is repeating, I can have only one given statement here. Okay, because sample.feature or the feature files will, the steps will basically will search across the step definition file. If it is encountering, it will just execute that. So that is one benefit of that. It means that you implement once, but you can use as many as times in the feature file. Okay, now let's see how do we implement this one. Okay, so for this we need to do two things. One is the reporting, and the second thing is that we need to do some change into the configuration.ts file, because if you see, currently it is redirecting to my spec file, right? But here we don't have any spec concepts, we have the feature only. So now we'll see how we can handle that. Okay, so for first thing is that let's see the reporting part. So for that, what I will do, I'll go to this config, and here I'll create a reporter. Okay, so that reporter will basically we will mention where exactly the HTML report should be saved. So what I will do, I will make it as reporter.ts. So this is again a ts file. Okay, so let me copy paste it, and then I will explain you guys one by one. Okay, so let's go one by one. So first thing is that let's first ignore this one, these things I'll let you know one by one. So we need a JSON report path, and then an HTML, and then one the JSON target. So where exactly this cucumber report.json will create. Okay, so if you see here, first, so because at the so Cucumber normally returns a JSON reporting. So that JSON actually we are converting into a HTML file. Okay. So after that, what I will do under this JSON, I will be generating this report. That name is cucumber underscore report dot JSON. Okay. The same thing if you see Cucumber reporter option. So this is a constant which is having these many details. So this object, this cucumber reporter options, we will use that in the config file, so that based on this configuration my HTML will be generating. Okay, as simple as that. So now if you see the JSON file, now JSON file is target JSON. Target JSON is nothing but reports under that JSON folder, under that cucumber underscore report dot JSON. Okay, that's about that. Now output, because at the end we need the output as a HTML report, right? So that's why this is where the HTML report will be generating. The way cucumber underscore report dot JSON, the same thing I'm telling that the output folder is nothing but where the HTML file will be generating. Okay, and if I have any screenshots that will be generating, that will be saved under this screenshots folder. Okay. Okay, so now let's go store screenshots true. I mean, in the Cucumber has that option also. If in case of any failures, you can attach that screenshots. We will see in our future sessions. Okay. Okay, so this is about this particular object. Now here I am creating again. So here this is nothing but my class, and this is a this is the object, right? This object I will be using in inside this. Okay, and so I'm creating a directory, because sometimes what happens if your directory is not created, like what directory, if this reports is not created, then create it in some case if it is not there. Okay, and another thing, create HTML report. So here if you see reporter dot generate, now from where this reporter is coming, nothing but this one. So this is an object from the Cucumber HTML reporter dot generate with all the cucumber options that I am giving. So this is basically the information needed to generate the HTML report and to where exactly it will be saving. That's what it is telling. If in case this reporter is not generating, it will just simply throw an error actually. So we will use these two methods, like this create directory and the create HTML report into our config.ts. So now let's move to the config.ts file. So here I will be editing few of the stuff, so keep observing. So what I will do, I will first import that particular file, that is nothing but a reporter. From the path is dot config and then reporter. Okay, fine, let's keep that as it is. Now I'll create a path variable here, and this will be my path, and then here I'll create a variable where I will be generating my HTML report, right? Where I will be generating my HTML report. Okay, so here I will say path dot join, and what with the current project folder, that is nothing but a CWD. So this will give me my current project folder. Under this I will be creating a reports folder and then JSON. Okay, under this all the reporting whatever cucumber will generate, that should be storing under this. Okay, so for this, now as I was telling, this BDD or this cucumber is a replacement to the Jasmine, because we are no longer will be using the describe and to right it block. So for this what I will do, I will make this framework as custom. Okay, and then here I will say framework path require dot resolve. I'll give that library, that is nothing but protractor hyphen cucumber hyphen framework. Okay, and here I'll make this selenium promise manager as false. Fine, that's it. Okay, and now here what I will do, the second thing is that if you see the spec is redirecting to the spec file, right? But I don't have any spec file, rather I have the feature file, right? So what I will do instead of that, I will say features and then sample.feature. Okay, if you have multiple feature files, you can say star.feature file, or else say if any folder structure that you have maintained under these features, you can give that here. Okay, so my spec is ready. Now I will be mentioning few of the Cucumber options. Okay, so here what I will do, Cucumber options, and here let me copy paste few things, then I will explain. So if you see here, okay, so if you see require, I'm giving my step definition file where it is after it is converting. So step definition, under that whatever it is there, a config file, this config because reporter and everything is there, right? So that I'm importing. Format is, as I told initially, it will be JSON format. From there I will be converting that into a HTML report. Okay, and this should be a comma. Okay, in the on prepare method, what I will do, I will generate that directory, right? So what I will do, reporter dot create directory, and here I'll give that output whichever I have assigned here. So if you see, this one is nothing but my this one. Okay, under reports and JSON, so this folder will be created on the on prepare. Okay, in the on prepare method, then on the completion, on completion, I will be generating that HTML report. So here I will say on complete, and then this method, and here I will be calling that create HTML report, reporter dot create HTML report, and this is a method, right? Fine. So this is the basic configuration that you need. After this, let me see, my WebDriver is running, and then I will say npm run test. Okay, so if you see here, it is showing as zero scenarios and zero step. The reason is that it should be double dot. So because it is not finding the proper feature file from there. Okay, so if you see here, two scenarios are there because the examples, if you let me open that sample.feature, so because I have two rows of data, so that's why it is saying two scenarios. That is nothing but two scenario outlines and 10 steps. If you see 1 2 3 4 5, and it runs two times, right? So that's why 10 steps are there. And if you see all the outputs, so let me go to the step definition file. If you see here, first thing is that profile entry screen, that is my given statement. Enter name, so enter name pqr. So if you see, this is coming from the examples. Where is the feature file? Okay, so from here pqr is coming. Enter tool, protractor, enter experience, something is coming. And then if you see, this is again validate profile without any error, that is my validation. And after that it started again another step. Okay, profile entry screen, so it is going to the second row of data. Okay, so now let's see the HTML report. So if you see here, this says Cucumber HTML report under this location. So if I copy paste and then launch the browser with the same location, so if you see here, this is nothing but the Cucumber report. See how nicely it created. So it says that past two, so two scenarios which is past, and under this if you see step by step executions, it is showing the report. So I have two scenarios with the details, multiple profile entry, and this is my the header level, that is the title of the feature. And if you see here all the details, now if I have anything failed here, then it will give me a failed test because it is passed, so everything is coming as green. Okay, So that's about the setup of the Cucumber into the Visual Studio Code, and we have seen how we can generate a Cucumber report. So we'll see in our upcoming sessions how we can implement the scenario with the data table, and also we will implement a basic what do you call protractor based some kind of actual verification by using Cucumber. Okay, so stay tuned and do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.